Hello and welcome. This is Act 1, Scene 3 of the Joker Grim Grizz crossover, which is kind of complicated, but that's also why it says crossover Crocs. You'll see. This is technically one of them and historic events, and also and historically on this day, Marvin over on his second channel there is that weird. Released a new Jonathan Pajot whatnot. So enjoy some of that before you get any mind control saves. Welcome.
Right. And that we can kind of get. We understand that this glorious image, the chief, think of the team captain, right? Or the president or the king. Or these people that are like Elon Musk that runs these massive companies and are kind of like these examples that we follow. Then we can kind of get. And that kind of looks like it kind of looks like the old gods a little bit, these kind of tough guys, these really, more than human characters that are driving the world and they're making us follow them. But the image at the end of Revelation is different. There are two images in that final moment when the heavenly Jerusalem appears. This image of the Son of Man, right? The glorious judge, but also this image of the Lamb, right? The Lamb that is sacrificed before the foundation of the world. And I think those two together, that's it. That's the solution. That's the solution to complexity, is those two images together. Is to know that one is the other. And the Son of Man is the Son of Man because he is the Lamb that was sacrificed, right? That the image of the glorious one is glorious because he is the one who was crucified. And I'm telling you, it's a technical thing. I don't want you to, I always, I'm afraid of woo. So this isn't like a woo thing. You realize it's actually how the world works. The Son of Man is the Son of Man.
Is dominated by a sun dish. Domination. To the right. Domination. It is frail. The dream has its own limitation. Let's get back to your dream. What does the dream say?
We need more psychology. We need more understanding of human nature, because the only real danger that exists is man himself.
Domination is frail. The anima is the female element of the male unconscious.
I don't want to know how things are to be. I want to exert action as long as I live, so that the sort of things which should, in my opinion, be, have more chances of being. If they're all set, it doesn't interest me anymore to see the year 2000 than it interests me to see the year 1000. The merit of the future is that it is not set. The merit of the future is that it is not set. The merit of the future is that it is not set. If they're all set, the merit of the future is that it is not set. The merit of the future is that it is the area in which we can exert our will, exert our efforts, and try to validate our values. That is the merit of the future.
It's the area. It's the area, guys. Don't forget. We're in the area of the arena. I know, Sylvia. I know, but I just ran like 8 hours of branding, and now is not a good time to start with the meow. Oh, hello, Cosmic. Good to see you. How you doing, Lenny, Ron, Chris, Ups, and Nathaniel J. Franco? Welcome. This is the Act 1, Scene 3 stream. Crocs crossover or something like that. There, let's see. There it is. Crossover Crocs. And since I guess I have to deal with Sylvia, I will now premiere McMo's new branding.
Dum, dum, dum. That all sounds well and good, but really, how do I get there? Okay, you said this whole beautiful thing, and I know many of you, especially out there on the YouTube channel, are going to say, I have problems believing this stuff. Yeah, I get it. The thing is, a lot of people who say, I have problems believing this stuff, think that the way to answer those problems is by theory. And generally speaking, no. You just don't work that way. You don't ride a bike. You don't learn to ride a bike by theory. You don't learn to swim by theory. You can watch a lot of videos about swimming, but I promise you will not learn to swim without getting in water.
See, like when you guys make the premiere of the branding, I can see it being 2.5 minutes, but normally I need like a minute or 30-second size clips. So, do your fancy premiere, but then also give me the Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all. Welcome to the stream. It's Act 1, Scene 3, and it's time for your savings throws against the mind control that you know that you'll be getting during the show. You get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis for your savings throw. I roll the die. If it's over 10, you take half damage. You've made your savings throw. Congratulations. Woo! If it's under 10, you failed your savings throw and take full damage from the mind control and might even end up donating to the link I'll put up shortly. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart? Choose. Choose, I say. Survivalist, you made it. That's a 10 for you. A 10 for you. Socialist, 15 today. Look at that. Congratulations, you'll be all right. Lovers of wisdom, Trinity for you. You're going to have your bonuses. I hope you do. We have disciples for the heart folks today. And Indigo Kids pairing up with the 15 as well. 15 as well. Welcome, everybody. And special thanks once again to the Shadow Cabal who make all of this possible, including the Shadow Cabal that makes the branding.
So say we all. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Ho, ho, ho.
And now, on behalf of the hello, I see the assassins have failed, but no, on behalf of the fraternal regiment embodying narcissistic sociopathy, we're gonna get right to it. What seems to have happened is that there's been a YouTube video created in response to me, and as such, it's my duty, therefore, to examine it closely, and we'll be beginning that here at 20 seconds deep. In the what do you call it there? This Joker reacts to Grim Grizz, Indica / Sativa, America / Germany, and Christianity / paganism. We'll be going over that today, making a video commentary, being reciprocal of the effort put into the production of such fabulous content.
Is everything all right in here?
Yes, Nanny.
Okay, yes, we're going to get into it, but first, more branding. We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see doing what is right for me. Is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency. We have a prediction from the why can't I get the camera angle right today? I don't. Come here, give me virtual hug, everybody. Cosmic says this is going to be really great after 2 more layers of react when Dragon starts switching characters at different layers of reacting. Well, let's see how great it is at this layer. Let's see. Hey, Parlato. It's settling, knowing that your nature is fictional and untrue.
What?
I'm particularly
Did you just say my nature is fictional and untrue?
I just want to shout out to German engineering for the layers of production on this. If you look here, he's got the picture and picture here, knowing and then this brilliant.
Did you just say my nature is fictional and untrue?
You see how it zooms like this, little zoom. You got a little zoom in there. That's all nice.
This is quite a statement. I mean, to claim that I'm fictional when really, I mean, you have no evidence for the fictionality of my being, right? Other than seeing me on video, you haven't ever seen me. So I see you on video too, Griswold Grimm. If that's even your real name, because it sounds fictional, it sounds poetic, it sounds like it's made up, it sounds like you're some kind of character, not a real person, but fictional and therefore untrue. And it turns out that we exist in the same dimension. You know, we're meeting here in the YouTube matrix. And I can't tell if Griswold Grimm is any different than me, Walter Theodore Feuergeist. You know, I think...
Well, let's examine the differences and get to the point you missed, shall we? First to the point you missed. This settling. The physical embodiment, I guess. Seeing these guys represented with their fictional backstories is quite dissettling. knowing that your nature is fictional and untrue
What?
See, the key portion that the key portion there was fictional backstory. See, this Walter character grows up in an orphanage in this timeline, presumably, and that's the difference between the that's the key point of difference I would like to draw attention to in the fictional natures of the backstory. The backstory claims to exist in this reality, in this timeline, making it what we call falsifiable. And the preferred option for the LARP gate is to have an unfalsifiable backstory, such as you're a time traveler from a different timeline, and but you have to have amnesia as part of the time travel process. You see, it's because of the falsifiability. It's the unsettling nature was the falsifiability, I think. But then.
True. This is quite a statement. I mean, to claim that I'm fictional when really, I mean, you have no evidence for the fictionality of my being, right? Other than seeing me on video, you haven't ever seen me. So I see you on video too, Griswold Grimm. If that's even your real name, because it sounds fictional, it sounds poetic, it sounds like it's made up, it sounds like you're some kind of character, not a real person, but.
Oh wait, we ran that one already. Great. Good to see you, Slack. Good to see you. Say you must have missed scene 1 and scene 2. This is technically scene 2. Scene 1, I would call the original video I was responding to, or the live stream. The live stream response to his video was what he's talking about. That's scene 1. Then his is scene 2, and this is scene 3. And then the prologue was me talking to Johans, like for the people documenting all the happenings in the corner, for the people documenting this crossover croc, and that's happening in this live virtual YouTube space. There's that. However, we have what comes up next, and that's it. 129. Yes.
Language. It's just a game, and this game is made to be sung.
Like Slim Shady.
Obviously, that if this character had experienced the only friend is a crocodile orphanage, the only way we would get this monologue is if he was about to feed us 2 crocodiles, like in a death trap.
What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile? Not this crocodile. This is just a symbolic representation.
Now, see, here's I'm going to call a missed shot here, like right here.
To feed you all to the crocodile.
You should have jumped back to 129.
It's just a game.
Obviously, to feed us. There's a part where you say like Slim Shady.
And this game is made.
I think right after you did the crocodile bit here. And he was about to right after you did this bit.
What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile? What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile? What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile?
That's very exciting.
Hello. I see the assassins have failed.
Welcome, everybody. This is the Act 1, Scene 3 crossover croc stream. And we're crossing the crocs right now.
I believe that if everyone sees what just a few people become when they wholly embrace their gifts, others will awaken.
Oh no, he's losing epistemic homology. We better keep moving to the 222 timestamp.
you know, the Christians at the orphanage, the man. Anyways, because of all of that, which, by the way, seems to be some sort of meta trend. I mean, I see Americans, you know, I'm located over here in Germany, and Germany's pagan.
This is how they socially engineer pagan kids. Look at that black cat on top of that house. There's a little playhouse with a black cat on top. This is very common German architecture. It's like very Rudolf Steiner style, you know. There can't be any 90-degree angle. Everything has to be a bit bent out of shape, you know. This is Germany, guys. It's a different religion. It's a different philosophy of being human, you know. This is anti.
So, first, you're coming after the Christians, and that's noted. That's noted. Yes, that was fantastic. It was fantastic. You mentioned Rudolf Steiner, and all I know about Rudolf Steiner is that Dumir knows stuff about Rudolf Steiner. So here's some of that.
That we are only at the beginning of our understanding and apprehension of Christ. For centuries, through to the 12th and 13th centuries, a Christianity existed whose faithful had no means of reading the Bible, who depended instead on sermons and on the teachings of inspired people. Then came a Christianity that stuck to the Bible, that drew its knowledge from the biblical texts. And we are unaware of the power of Christ if we do not recognize that his statement, quote, "I am with you always unto the end of the ages," close quote, is something he made real. We are Christians if we recognize that Christ, after his first manifestation, will manifest again in every age for every person who wishes to see him. The Christ.
No, it seems to me it's partially in part because like he did influence design and/or schools that we should probably see what was more up with that Steiner character. But let's move along now to the 4 minutes and 2 seconds. This thing is jam-packed, dude. You put a lot of value in.
The dead.
Over there, you're like, let's go back to Christianity. But it's like, it looks to me as though the whole universal love and the Christian message, I mean, the way it ended in both the Catholic Church and the Protestant Church, it makes you wonder if that was its telos from the very beginning, if that was its fate, if Christianity was fictional, untrue, if it was a poetic character, if it was just some sort of meta meme embodied by an organization like either the Catholic or the Protestant Church, that such network would ultimately turn into a child abuse mafia. I mean, you could make that claim if you.
First of all, it's amazing you go there. It's either negligent of the waters in which I swim, or not negligent of the waters in which I swim, and I don't know, what do you call it? Intentionally offensive. But in case you missed it, back on Friday, we did imply exactly that sort of thing, in which Christianity and the Pope mechanism of control is just one of the many layered ones in this artifact from the Stoa archives. See, a lot of me is just running this to preserve it in case it goes down where it's at.
Arrow is the arrow you don't want happening, right? And all these people, it's not just this person's decision, man. All these people can do it. All these people can influence this person. How do we stop this? How do you make this scenario not happen? It's easy. Blackmail every single one of them. Every single one of them. Using the pipeline that I just showed you how to build. So got them all blackmailed. There we go. And guess what? You ain't pressing that. You're not going to press that button now. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's a wild Henry Kissinger. Hello there. How are you? Oh, he thinks that you can. Oh, no. He's taking a look at this. He thinks you could build a world order out of this stuff. Hold on. If you decided, okay, I got this governing body, I got blackmailing them. I got a trade organ, I got them too. I got these guys, and hey, wait a second, I got blackmailing all these people. I can control when they interact with each other.
Yeah. So be sure and get the gestalt, the worldview that we offer on these live streams. Meanwhile, back to 515. Oh.
This is her. This is the witch, the sacred witch, watching over the children who are playing here. You can see that. Germany is clearly trying to socially engineer witches and wizards.
German way. Any
Acknowledged. Acknowledged, the card says. Acknowledged. Okay. Hey, we've made it to the backside of this card. Oh, my goodness. All right, Upcycle with the plus 4. The next stream saves. Catching me muted means I got to do a retake.
Watching over the children who are playing here. You can see that. Germany is clearly trying to socially engineer witches and wizards.
German.
And acknowledged. And then on to 644. We had a lot of 44s, it turns out. Well, first, the end with this is the sense I know that the embodiment is never actually experienced, that he's promoting the wrong strain.
He knows the embodiment has never experienced.
I'm looking in the camera for this one. It's that serious.
I'm trying to decipher what he's saying right now because I feel like he's going into a direction where he's claiming that, one, I have not smoked weed. Two, I have no idea what weed does to you, especially, the indica dominant strain. I think that's where he's going. Like, this is the game he's setting up here. He's playing this kind of theory of mind where he believes to have full access to my experiential past and then just, strikes through part of the timeline and acts like, no, that never happened.
The wrong strain is you see, what happened is I had what we call a fringe encounter. Hey, thank you, Ups, for helping out the pets. We had a fringe encounter with this guy named Johans, who appears to be your oversoul, Mr. Fictional Character, and he claims to have a job and a family and everything. And so the danger here is, while he's created you and is going to allow a poetic license over what he says as part of his German dragonization process, the concern, therefore, would be if he also allowed you control over his behaviors, such as consuming substances that could affect the stability of the life of the oversoul. And that's why I said that part, right? Maybe 744. Okay. Indica is basically the opiate of cannabis. That's what
it's the serpent strain. It enables serpent vision.
Indica is basically the opiate of cannabis. That's what it's not rightfully called. The fact that they put it in the law under the slang term is bullshit. The fact that it was not decriminalized but legalized is bullshit.
So Germany, I mean, this is an interesting synchronicity for the...
Look at that. You look at the production value. Not decriminalized, and then does fast forward background as he runs and gets the head. The slang term is bullshit. the fact that it was not decriminalized but legalized is bullshit. This part, see, look
So
at that.
Germany, I mean, this is an interesting.
All that video production schwang and mind control, mind control, mind control. I tell you.
The list?
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right? What room? I want to cast Magic Missile. The room where he's casting all these spells from. He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile.
Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
Oh, Ron, why would you go there, Ron? What Slack needs to speak to the beast? What's going on? What's going on out there? What's going on out there? He goes into a bit about how they legalized cannabis in Germany on April 1st, which, as we know over here, is April Fool's Day, and the funny thing about April Fools is it turns out it's when people screwed with the calendar and said that the New Year wasn't in spring. Those people that still wanted New Year's to be in spring, they were the April Fools. That's all well. But the important part is here at 844.
Germany.
So sativa grows tall. Indica grows short. And it's it's like taking, they prescribe it to people coming. That part, it's important. The relevance of the height of the plant is as follows. Sativa is great, indica is terrible. But because indica grows shorter, people growing 3 stacks of it can grow 3 stacks where they can only grow 2 stacks of sativa. So it's more profitable to hybridize and contaminate the benefits of the sativa with the shit indica. And because then they can make more plants and therefore more money. And I didn't elaborate on that during the initial response, and I'm glad you caught that so I could hear. Here's and then where were we? Were we serpent minding now? I think maybe. Oh, this part was great.
If you assume the bird's eye view perspective,
I will become German Chancellor in 2033.
If you assume the bird's eye view perspective, which sativa dominant strains enable, whereas, indica enables serpent vision, which is like the one vision I had in the German forest.
At one time when I was here at the heaven spot, the heavenly little river spot where German kids come to smoke weed at the age of 14.
That's great. You guys should watch all that. Hey, no. What have you done? Stop it. Where are we at? We are at somewhere near 1222. Oh, here. The part is you equate the effects of indica and then use psilocybin. Brett Anderson's presentation on what psilocybin does, and I think that's a false equivalence.
Serpent brain, and the musk brain is an eagle brain. So you could play this game where you say like, okay, so
that, by the way, is a fascinating video. He didn't bother to make it a thumbnail you could click at the top, but he did put the picture of the thumbnail in. It's actually a really good breakdown. Turns out, though, when I was poking around and checking out which end cards to, I wanted to take the time and complain that you have this video in this thumbnail, and then way down here at the end card, 1408, that it doesn't appear as one of your end card options here. You have it in the video, but not as an end card option. But here, let's get back to that cannabis nonsense. You did want to play this.
Or eat sativa, that it tends to lead to one specific set of or generally leads to one specific set of effects, heightened focus, mood, etc. Whereas when they ingest or smoke indica and its components, right? Again, we're still talking about THC and CBD in varying ratios, but now indica cannabis. And you say, well, why would it improve the transition time to sleep? Or at least give people the impression that it improved the transition time to sleep. We'll talk about what indica actually does for sleep in a little bit. But indica also tends to suppress activation of the amygdala and threat detection centers in the brain, again, binding the same CB1 receptors and those retrograde signaling mechanisms I talked about before. But it also tends to shut down the hippocampus, an area of the brain associated with memory, which is why indica varieties lead to pronounced, or I should say profound, defects in short-term memory and sometimes in long-term memory as well if it's consumed over long periods of time. We'll talk about short, medium.
It's bad, okay? And I wanted to say personally, I've found that sativa cannabis functions sort of like a potion of hypomania, where you become abnormally energized or active, extremely happy or excited, or feeling rested even though you slept not only a few hours of all, invincible, talking so much info so fast others can't get a word in. That thing, not so much these bottom ones, because it doesn't induce that layer of hypomania, but it's like hypomania on demand. That's my personal take on it. And now for a serious derail. What? Yeah, really. You put it in the car. You put it in the tabs, though.
But he's overcoming something rather than, a true marksman will look at the arrows available and say, if I want to hit the target, I'll pick the best arrow so that I can hit the target. A true marksman might say, all of these arrows are crap. This arrow is at least crappy in a way that I can work with. But he's overcoming something rather than, a true marksman will look at the arrows available and say, if I want to hit the target, I'll pick the best arrow so that I can hit the target. A true marksman might say, all of these arrows are crap. This arrow is at least crappy in a way that I can work with.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Lenny Time, and I'm here to talk about a concept of measurement. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
You might need mind control again.
Where are we at? We're at the Act 1, Scene 3. You have timestamps from the German Dragon video because you're doing a crossover Croc stream. Oh, okay. Well, that's great. We were on to the part where, let's see, 1301? Sure.
Aren't naive. They see value in socially engineering little check-ass children.
I'm getting a lot of feedback, and it's very interesting for me to get this kind of feedback and reflect upon it, because I'm 100% conscious of my fictionality. And yet, and that's the crazy part, from the fictional realm, I can somehow travel through the matrix into y'all's brains.
And here we are doing it on display, like two fictional. It's like your project, but like not, because I'm not you, and all your stuff was internal. I did want to point out that while poking around the channel on these thumbnails that do pop up, I ended up on one of your top secret unlisted videos here. It's called Jordan Peterson and the Future of Identity, and I thought it was absolutely fabulous. And since I have access, everybody does. Here's part of it.
To write and read a very careful intro to this podcast episode, as it deals with particularly tricky and contentious matters. So please forgive the deviation
Really like your style here of going with the overlay of the point you want to make while you let the clip play. That's really good. And that you examine the differences between like what's going on. It's a great video, sir. I highly recommend people find it, even though it's unlisted. Right. Where did you want to go from here, Grim? Well, what was this 1044 you had marked? Hold on, guys. I got lost. This happens. And what was this one?
Your brain's left hemisphere. I don't know why I always say of your left brain's hemisphere instead of your brain's left hemisphere. I mean,
it's because it's right the way you accidentally say it.
Takes out the frames of your left brain's hemisphere, of your brain's left hemisphere. I don't know why I always say of your left brain's hemisphere instead of.
Because they're that separate. I don't know why the hemisphere part, that kind of throws it off. In other news, I discovered this, and it makes me want to talk about the Marissa Tomei project. So
This was only possible because one day when I was just scrolling through the internet, I discovered that you could just buy a user-friendly EEG, which already was mind-blowing enough for me to get really excited about all the things I could do with this. But I wanted to take it a step further and see if I could use the data the EEG was getting to actually control the game. So my plan was to use this data in a program that would send a signal to.
So this lady uses this fancy EEG thing that's part of the Marissa Tomei pyramid scheme to make a video game controller work with her brain hole. To understand the Marissa Tomei pyramid scheme, you probably need to see this.
Possible answer.
Impossible because you don't know the answer.
Nobody could answer that question.
Your Honor, I move to disqualify Ms. Vito as an expert witness.
Can you answer the question?
No, it is a trick question.
Why is it a trick question?
Watch this. Because Chevy didn't make a 327 in 55. The 327 didn't come out till 62. And it wasn't offered in the Bel Air with a 4-barrel carb till 64. However, in 1964, the correct ignition timing would be 4 degrees before top dead center.
That's Marissa Tomei and why it's called the Marissa Tomei pyramid scheme. The thing involves EEGs, though, like the one shown by this lady. And the deal is that in what appears apparently is one of the Mandela effects I've experienced in a scene that is not at all in the movie. I distinctly recall a scene where Marissa Tomei is saying how like she's sitting with old people who had been mechanics forever somehow, and they could tell what car it was by the sound of the engine as it drove by. And doing that with the brain is really the heart of the Marissa Tomei pyramid scheme. The thing is, to be a pyramid scheme, it has to work out as I sucker you into buying in. And the buy-in covers like small cuts for me and the purchase of the EEG. And then all of the data that we have from the EEGs, we pool into a giant resource hub. And then we charge people to query it like a large language model, but it's an interpolation of all our EEGs rather than a language model. And then the companies can pay us to ask it questions. It's fabulous, and that's that. Why hemispheres? Because we could do a lot with her personal EEGs, and they're only like $700 is the thing. And that lady proves it. And the other news. No. The other news needs a break. Yeah.
In all our searching, the only thing we found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other.
In other news, and something I was supposed to do at the front of the show, we have achieved our unlock a VIP code over on the Ko-fi. That last goal has been unset. Somebody put in the last $200 needed to unlock that code. And that was done. So I have DM'd on Ko-fi the code for that person. We need to set the new goal of now the only 3 tickets remaining. It's not gonna be cheap to unlock this next code. There's only 3 left, people. Okay. I don't know what happened to the 4th. See how it said 5 here? How it said 5? I don't know what happened to the 4th one. It might have went to Luke and Thompson. He might be a guest star VIP that you can meet and attend with if this code is unlocked for only $1,000. And there's going to be 2 more codes, and it's not going to get any prettier from here, folks. I promise you that. These are VIP for a reason. If you knew the guest list who had bought the tickets already other than Luke Thompson, you'd know the inherent value in that ticket, yada, yada. That gets you access to the special secret VIP bonus event at Encountering Face to Face, which is Sunday. The event itself is on September 12th to the 24th, where you can have see Michael Martin, Paul Vanderklay, that guy, and Karen, and Rafe, and Graham for only $200. Have a barbecue for an extra $100. And there's a camping option, maybe. I don't know if there's any seats left. There's a 3-day lodgings for $100, 25 slots. Yo, Kale. Yes, grifting intense. Was there anything else? No. We've responded. We've made our points. We've gone through the card. We did the croc crossing. Let's do that original branding from Ups one more time.
What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile? What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile? What makes you assume that I'm not about to feed you all to the crocodile?
That's very exciting.
Hello. I see the assassins have failed.
Oh, wait, there's more. Agent Baxter had this guy on over on this channel.
Notion that the world's all about entertainment. The church has got to be entertaining. Christians should be involved in entertainment. But somehow we're kind of fighting with both hands tied behind our back because the actual power in these forms couldn't be inhabited with a Christian message. And so there was always something very Thomas Kincaid, very kind of cheesy, very Mighty Morphin Power Rangers about even like some of the hymns and stuff. I don't know. It just didn't seem to be drawing from this place that other masterworks and artists were. And then you go back in time and you look at the churches built in Europe, and you look at the classical composers. You look at people like Cezanne who are composing for the cathedrals, and you go way back and you hear stuff by Cassiani and
So I turns out I see him on that Twitter platform, that X thing over there, and I say, I hear you're doing podcasts now. And he says, if that's an invitation, I'm in. And now he's going to be here on Friday. We're going to do a live stream together. We're going to do a live encounter. We'll do a Fringe live with the Dirt Poor Robbins guy this Friday at 11 Central. And we'll probably ignore the hive minds for the first half hour or so, and then it'll be a thing. So that's a happy announcement. We're going to have some DPR on. We're doing some recordings on tomorrow. So exciting news all the way around. LARP hard and train out. Okay. Where is it? There it is. LARP. We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard.
Come
was a McMo one, I think. I believe that was a McMo masterpiece. I think that was his stylistic impression, signature thereof. Okay. What's with all these big names in the hive mind showing up at the end of the show? Should I move the time slot? Bye, everybody. Oh, no, you failed to click the end stream button.